Thank you for attending our expert webinar today on what's new in Vantagepoint 6.5. My name is Brittany Herman. I'm a marketing specialist here at Aktion Associates, and I'll be moderating today's event. Our audience is muted today to provide the best user experience, so you will need to use the Q&A feature to ask a question to our presenter. They will be answering them at the end of today's session, and if a follow-up is needed later on, we will be following up with you after today's event. Lastly, this webinar is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be sent to you shortly after the webinar ends today. Now, allow me to introduce you to our presenters today. We have Nidra with us today. She is a principal consultant in the AES division here at Aktion. We are also joined by Matt, who is an application consultant here at Aktion. So these two today will be our presenters, showing us around what's new in 6.5. I'll go through the agenda real quickly, that way you both know what will be on today. We'll be going through the user interface and navigation updates, the project and billing updates, some timesheet updates, accounts payable updates, dashboard, AI-generated smart summaries. We'll be going through a live demo, and as I mentioned, we will have that Q&A at the end of the event. So with all that being said, I will turn it over to our presenters now.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. As noted, I'm Matt Brzezina, and I'm a Deltek application consultant with Aktion. I will be going through a number of slides here talking about some of the main features that are new in 6.5. And then we'll jump into a demo database and take a look at a few of these. And then after that, we will take any questions that you may have. So starting out with changes and updates to the user interface and navigation, I'll go through these slides fairly quickly because I'm going to show all of these in the demo. But one new feature in Vantagepoint 6.5 is the dark mode. This can be found under your defaults tab in My Preferences, and it changes the way that Vantagepoint looks from your traditional white background to a black background. And some people find this really helpful with eye strain and in low light conditions. So it's a fairly small change, but I know some people were really excited about this one. Next, we have the field finder in your hubs. So this can be found in all of your hubs, such as your employee, contact, firms, and project hubs. So this feature is found under the Other Actions menu, and it allows you to search for a field name across all of the tabs in that field record. So this can be really helpful, especially those firms that have numerous custom fields and are unsure which tab some of those fields are located in. Another new feature in 6.5 is the active only toggle in the quick find search. So when you're in your hub records, when you're using the quick find at the top of your screen, you often get numerous results that include inactive records. So this new toggle, which says active only, allows you to reduce your results on those quick find searches. Finally, I want to point out a couple of menu items that have been moved from the desktop application to the web application in Vantagepoint 6.5. So both the general ledger groups and the file administration menu options can now be found in the web application under the general ledger and utility menus respectively. So these two menu items prior to 6.5 were still located in the desktop application and have now moved over. Next, I'll talk about some project billing features that are new in Vantagepoint 6.5. So with 6.5, you now have a new search option that enables you to search based on your invoice approval status. So either submitted, approved, or rejected. And you can find this new search option in interactive billing and also in some of your reporting areas. And this can be really useful to pull up, for example, just pull up invoices that have been approved that you need to send out, or to only pull up rejected invoices that need to be modified and resubmitted. Another new feature that is useful when using the invoice approval process is a new run type under batch billing. So previous to 6.5, in batch billing, your run types were draft and submit, and final. You now have the option, a new option saying draft, submit, and resubmit. And this allows users to automatically include previously submitted or rejected invoices in their batch without having to go unsubmit those invoices first. The final update with project billing that I'm going to touch on for 6.5 is Vantagepoint will now save copies of void invoices. So if you go to your invoice history, once you void an invoice, Vantagepoint will now still retain a copy of that invoice that you can open, but it will have a large void watermark across the invoice, so you don't mistakenly print that out and send it anywhere. I now have a few timesheet related updates to go through really quick. Most of these are fairly small changes, but extremely useful. So the first one is a new warning that can be seen when entering a timesheet that is not in the current timesheet period. So this warning will appear at the top of your screen right below the selected timesheet period. And this can save employees from mistakenly entering their time in the wrong period. Another update with 6.5 is Vantagepoint will now automatically populate holiday hours. So company designated holidays, those dates will appear in blue with a blue column in your timesheets and will automatically be pre-populated with the employee's standard hours, which is on their employee record. So this is another nice new feature just to help prevent some of those timesheet mistakes by employees. The final timesheet related update is there is now a timesheet reversal option found in the time and expense posting area. This new feature allows users to easily post a reversal for a timesheet that was posted in an active period. So this is an improvement to prior versions of Vantagepoint, because now rather than having to unpost timesheets, which isn't really recommended, or process a manual timesheet reversal in the transaction center, you can just go here and select your timesheet and post a reversal. Once a timesheet is reversed using this new option, the timesheet will get reset to either approved or submitted, depending if you're using timesheet approvals, and can be reopened so you can make corrections on that before reposting. Next, I'm going to talk about some new features related to accounts payable with 6.5. So the first change is fairly minor, but very helpful. You now have the ability to see the full vendor address when entering AP transactions. So this will be found in AP vouchers, AP disbursements, and the AP invoice approval screens. Prior to 6.5, you only saw the address description. So if you have a vendor that has multiple addresses, sometimes those descriptions weren't very helpful, but now you see that full address. So nice little change there. A more exciting update with AP is the new ICR feature available for AP invoice approvals. ICR stands for Intelligent Character Recognition, and it allows users to upload the AP invoices, and Vantagepoint will now read those and bring that data from the AP invoice into the system without you manually having to type it out. So the areas that it will read and populate are the vendor name, vendor address, the invoice number, the invoice date, and the total invoice amount. So along with this update, you now also get a preview of the uploaded invoice on the right side of the screen. So you can see here in the slide that you get a little preview, which is really nice, so that you have everything on one screen, and it makes entering those AP invoices a lot quicker. Next, we'll look at a few updates related to dashboards in 6.5. The first update that I want to touch on is the addition of field level security for select dashpart bases, which allows greater control of what users are able to see. The AR detail, project, and project detail dashpart bases now allow for field level security when setting up security roles. So when you go into your security roles under your access rights, and then if you're looking at your dashpart bases, you can now select specific columns or fields for those dashpart bases that you want to provide that role access to. So in previous versions of Vantagepoint, it was an all or nothing approach where the security role either had full access to those dashparts or no access at all to those dashparts. Now with 6.5, you can give access to just specific fields within those dashpart bases. Vantagepoint 6.5 also added a new dashpart that is available in your dashpart library, which is really useful for timesheet admins and approvers. So the timesheet floor check is a tool that's been available in the timesheet application for a while now, but it's now been added as a dashpart and can be added to your dashboards. So there's no need to create this yourself. It's available in a dashpart library and can be brought into any dashboards. And the timesheet floor check is a quick way for admins and timesheet approvers timesheets for a particular time period or timesheet period. And they even have the ability to send out notifications or emails directly from that dashboard to employees that are missing timesheets, for example. The final dashboard related feature that I want to touch on is the new KPI dashparts. So previous to 6.5, users had the ability to create either table or chart dashparts. Now they also have the ability to add KPI dashparts. And the KPI dashparts are designed to display a single value or calculation in a dashboard that will help visualize key performance indicators that are important for your company. With these dash parts, you can control the background color and font color, and then use conditional formatting to change that background color or font, for example. And you can use that conditional formatting based on comparisons to targets or budgets or prior periods. So it's a really nice feature that I think more and more firms are going to start using once they kind of see how those work. The final 6.5 update that I want to touch on here is the AI generated smart summaries. Vantagepoint now has the capability to generate client smart summaries through the use of generative AI. These client smart summaries provide a snapshot of a client's status and history, including general information about the firm, recent activities, top pursuit projects, active projects, completed projects, and a lot of KPIs around all of that information. This feature can be activated for users that have a CRM license. And to activate it, you can find it under your settings, general, and then you'll see a little area that says smart summaries and a checkbox saying enable AI generated summaries. So once you enable those under settings, then you can actually run smart summaries on your clients by going to a client record in your Firm Hub. So I encourage anyone that has access to these to go and try it out, run some smart summaries for your clients. It's a really neat tool, and Vantagepoint Deltek is going to continue to add new AI capabilities in the future. So now that I've discussed some of the top new features in 6.5, I'm going to open up a demo database, share my screen, and take a look at a few of these. All right, so here I have open a demo database, and I am in Vantagepoint 6.5, and I am in the Projects Hub. So I'll just start out showing a couple of those user navigation features. So here in the Projects Hub, if I start typing in something in the quick find box up top, you'll see that I start getting, oops, try that again. Get a lot of results. Some are grayed out because they're inactive. So this active only toggle is a nice new feature with 6.5 that reduces your search to only show those active records. While I'm in here, if I go over to my other actions menu, this is where you can find that new field finder option. So if I click that field finder, I can type in anything here. Let's type in biller. If I hit enter, it found one of one, and it found it down here. So but it searches across all tabs. So let's type in revenue. So it came back with 9 results. And you'll see it even searches your summary pane over here on the left. You can see it's highlighting what it's finding here. And it's actually looking at the field ID name. So even though this field says weighted fee, if I went into my screen designer, the field ID contains the word revenue, and that's why it's finding that. So I can arrow through, it will jump to the next field that it finds. You can see now it jumped over into our accounting tab. So it searches across all tabs and can be really useful. Another useful way you may want to use this is if you have custom fields. A lot of times when you set up custom fields, those field IDs start with CUST. So if I hit that, this could be a good way to find all of your custom fields or kind of go through which fields are customized. So here I have 33 results, and I could go through and look at all of those. Now I'm going to show you dark mode. So if you go up to your little gear icon in the upper right-hand corner, My Preferences, under your Defaults tab, and your default theme. So Classic is the default setting for Vantagepoint, but now you have dark mode. So if I save that, and this is user specific, so if you change it on yours, you're only doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for your entire company. But you can see that the background turns black, and now all of your font is mostly white or orange. So some people really enjoy that view. I'm going to jump back to the classic view. The other item I wanted to show was those timesheet corrections. So if I go down to my transaction center to time and expense posting, so I now have this new tab up top called timesheet corrections. This is new in 6.5. So I have my timesheets for the period here that I have selected. If I had one that I needed to make a correction on, so I could select that one. And then you have up top here, you have this post reversal option. So it's as simple as hitting that. It posts the reversal right away. There's no need to go anywhere else to post that. It is posted now. If I go back to my timesheet tab, it's over here available for posting. But if I go up to my actual timesheets, and I believe I have this one open already, maybe not. Let me try refreshing here once. So this is the timesheet that I just reversed. And you'll see that I can now go and reopen it over here. So if I reopen it, I can make corrections if there was any corrections to make. And then it could get resubmitted and approved. Actually, before I approve that. So because it was reopened, if I go back down to my transaction center, you can see that it's not available for posting right now because it's reopened. Go back to my timesheet. I'll approve it again. Now it's back here, and say we made some corrections and now we're ready to post it again. So a nice new feature for making those timesheet corrections. The final area I want to look at during this demo is, let's go into dashboards. So here's that timesheet floor check dashboard or dash part that I mentioned. Again, you don't need to create this. It's available in your dashpart library, so you can just pull this into any of your dashboards that you already have. So here, if we selected our time period for timesheets, and you can either do it by timesheet period or by timesheet day. We'll leave it at period. So now I get a list of my timesheets and their statuses. I can hit my little filter up top here, and it allows me then to filter by these different columns. So if I'm looking for just my missing timesheets, I can filter by that. This employee is missing their timesheet. I could select that and click send them an email, and it will email it to them. You can put in a message. You could have a saved message here so you don't have to type it out every time. And really, this timesheet floor check is already a feature under timesheets, but with 6.5, it's now a dash part to be added to dashboards. So just as firms are starting to use dashboards more and more, it's great to have these dash parts available in a dashboard so people can stay right in their dashboard and not only see the information that they need to see there, but also do some of the tasks that they need to get done from that dashboard. And then finally, here in dashboards, the KPI dash parts. So I have an example here at the bottom. This is what it looks like, this utilization year to date. I'm actually going to recreate this so you guys can see what that looks like. So I'm in a dashboard. I'm going to go to my edit mode, and I'm going to click new dash part up top here. And I can't call it the same thing, so rather than utilization year to date, I'm going to do year to date utilization. And my base, I'm going to use employee. Oh, it says that one was already taken as well. So previous to 6.5, you had dash part types down here. You had table and chart. But now with 6.5, you have KPI as well. So if I hit OK there, then I can pick what columns I want to bring in. For this, I'm going to do direct over total hours. And I'm going to bring that in twice, and I'll show you why here in a moment. So I hit continue, and it brings you to your dash part designer. You can filter these down depending on what your field is. You can filter those. For here, I'm just going to do different date ranges. So I'm going to do a specific period, or a specific month. I'm going to do January to December, hit apply. And then in my second column, I'm going to do the same thing, but I want previous year. So I'm going to do specific month again, January through December. I'm going to change this to year, and I'm going to put in -1 on both of these, and that's going to give me prior year then. I can apply that. Then if I go to my properties, I can just label these better. So I'm going to put year to date for this one. And I do want to display this as a %. And I also want decimals here. And then this one, I'm going to put prior year, and same thing. Apply that. So then with KPI dashboards, you have this KPI options right here. So if I click that, I can put in notes, which will be a little informational notes for anyone that wants to see what this KPI dashboard is for. So I'm going to put in a note, green if greater than prior year, red if less than prior year. So here's where you could choose your font color for your KPI tile, and here's your background color. So by default, I'm going to have it be green. And then here's where you can use your conditional formatting. And this is where, this is kind of the powerful part of these KPI dashboards. So I'm going to, rather than compare it to a static value, I'm doing a column compare because I'm comparing my two columns I have in here. I can choose a text color and a background color. So I'm going to do red here. And I'm going to compare my year to date. And if it's less than prior year, now it's going to turn to that red background. So I can hit apply here. You can also add a drill down to your KPI dashboards. So I'm going to pick one. I don't know if this is a relevant one or not, but you can drill down to another dashboard. So I'm going to hit apply there. Another thing to note is with a KPI dashboard, you can only show one column. It's just a single value. So you can have multiple columns in here, but only one can be unhidden because you're only showing one. You can also, I'm not going to do it for this one, but you can do calculated fields here as well. So if I click my calculated field, you have a new calculation here, similar to other dashboard calculations. But you also have this new dashboard calculation option. And if you click that, it's only going to give you the fields or columns that you pulled in as available for that calculation. But the nice thing about this is it's going to be filtered by any, or it's going to use any filters that you have used on these columns. So if you were only looking at a specific month or period, or a specific account, it's using that filter that you already have set on these columns for this calculation. So that can be really useful. So I'm going to hit save here. Go back out. Save this. Go out of edit mode. So here's that tile where I set it as green. It's green if it's greater than prior year and red if it's less than prior year. And because I put a drill down on it, if you click it, it's going to drill down to whatever you put that drill down to go to. So these KPI dashboards can be really useful to get a quick snapshot of information that you need. And based on the color and font color, you can easily determine what that number is conveying to you. So that concludes my presentation and my demo. So from there, I guess we will open it up to questions.
And we do have some questions, Matt.
All right.
Okay, so the first question is, are these changes identical in the on-premise version and the cloud version, because this user can't find the active slider or toggle that you showed earlier?
Yes, it should be. All of the features that I discussed should be available for both on-premise and cloud users. So I would recommend double checking that you are on 6.5. Not everyone has been converted to 6.5 yet. So I would double check that, and otherwise reach out to us here at Aktion or Deltek, and we can take a look at that.
Okay, the next question is, what if some employees do not get holiday?
Well, those holiday hours, that's a good question. Nidra, do you know the answer on that one?
I do not know the answer to that
Yeah,
question.
we,
I think
we
that's
might
one
have
we'll
to get back
look at.
on that one.
I can't think of any place that it's indicated that they don't get holidays. It could be a full-time or part-time setting somewhere, but we'll have to get back with that. The next question is, how does the adjust salary job cost work with the timesheet reversal? Does it have to be run again for the new posting?
Yes, it does. So reversing a timesheet is not going to impact any other postings. So yes, you would have to rerun that to catch that. By default, it's it's not impacting that adjust salary job cost.
Okay, the next question is, with the field level security for dash parts, the overall field security still governs the user's access to the dash parts. So even if they have access to a column and a dash part, but not in the system in general, it still won't show them the data. Correct?
That is correct. Like a good example of that is like cost data. If a user doesn't have access to cost data, they're still not going to have that even if they have full access to that dash part.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, where does Deltek publish the release notes? And do you still have your live database open? You can click on the question mark and show them where the release notes are.
Yes, let me share my screen again. So here's the question mark, and then Nidra, I'll have you direct me where I need to go here.
Down, it says what's new and release notes, about halfway down.
Perfect. Yeah, right here.
And that's for any version. Those are always included there. Okay, the next question is, the Smart Client Summary only works for the primary client. It doesn't work for the billing client. Is there any way to change that?
I think that's one that we would have to get back to on. I haven't played around enough with those smart summaries to know the answer to that. So we can get back on that one.
We can. I think that at this time it can't be changed, but we will confirm that. And if it's something different, we'll let you know. Okay. Next question. Do you have to give access to users for the new Find feature in the hubs?
No, I do not believe so. Everyone should have access to use that, because it's really just a search, but it's only going to they're only going to get results for things that they have access to. So if they do not have access to a field, say in the accounting tab, that's not going to return a result for them.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, may we see what is developed under the Go, No-Go tab? That would be in the Project Hub, Matt, and I think that's a user define, or, well, let's click on it in the
Yeah.
project, under projects.
Yeah, I guess I'm not aware of any changes in here, but I definitely have not touched on every single 6.5 update. I tried to highlight just some of the top ones that impact the most people.
Okay, the next question is, will the KPI dashboard ignore employee securities and allow us to show all employees a company-wide number? I do not think that it will ever ignore the employee that's logged in, their security.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it follows it completely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can the timesheet floor check dashboard be set to just show timesheets in specific groups or for the specific project managers? Like a project manager is me sort option.
I believe so. Nidra, do you know for sure? I believe that it's going to be based on your specific role. But that
Yes.
might be, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think they'll see the same thing on their dashboard that they see in timesheets. So if
Yep.
they only see their group or a certain number of groups, that's all they'll be able to see in the dashboard. Okay, let's see. Can you do timesheet corrections on time that has already been billed out? And if so, how does that affect billings for that project?
That is one that I would want to double check on before I gave a definitive answer on that. I believe you can still post a reversal on that. And then you would have to go back into your billing and make any adjustments there. But I do want to double check on that and get back on that one because I don't want to misstate what I'm saying.
Okay. What happens when employees have floating holidays and can choose their own?
There's no change there. So those auto-populated holidays are just company-wide holidays.
And they have to be listed on that holiday calendar.
Right.
And
so no change to floating holidays. And if you did have something on your company calendar that's a company designated holiday and it does pre-populate those hours for an employee, those employees can still take those hours off. It's still, you can still edit it. It's just there to kind of pre-populate to show you this is a holiday. And most people are probably taking holiday hours for it.
And the other thing there, it looks at their hours per day. So if they're set to work a 4-hour or 6-hour day or 8-hour day, that's the number of hours it would put in to pre-populate it. Another question on the timesheet reversal that goes back to the adjusted salary job cost. Is it the same with labor cross charge, that it has to be reprocessed?
Yes, same. Yep. It does not, when you reverse those timesheets, it does not impact anything else that has been posted. So you would have to rerun any of those processes in order to correct them if a timesheet was corrected.
Next question is, when reversing the timesheet, does it reverse the units entered on a timesheet?
It reverses that entire timesheet and it reopens it. So, yes.
So yes. Can you show in the live demo what the client summary looks like after you run it?
I unfortunately cannot in this demo database. I apologize. Because I'm just in a demo, this particular database does not have access to that. So I wish I could show it here, but I unfortunately can't in this database.
And that is all of our questions. We got through all of them.
Great. So yeah, we'll make a note of the ones that we have to follow up.
That just popped in. What is the release date for 6.5 for on-prem?
Nidra, do you have any sort of timeline on that?
I think it's available this month for on-prem.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely you'd have to check with Deltek to confirm that, but I believe it's this month that on-prem can have access to it.
Great.
Okay.
Well, we'll make a note of the ones that we need to follow up on, and we'll get some answers on those. But glad we got through all the questions, and thank you, everyone.
Yep, I'll pop back on here just to close out the event today. If there are any questions that have come in after this, or even as you guys think about the new version of 6.5, feel more than welcome to reach out to your account manager or Aktion. And we will be more than happy to get that answer to you. And as the ones that needed followed up on, we will be able to reach out to you after the event today and follow up on those questions. And again, thank you all for attending today's event, and I hope you all have a great day.